Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Beth Samuels, and I am a digital engagement consultant for the West. I'm going to go over today Mindtap. It's a Mindtap overview. For the purpose of my training today, I'm using Managing Your Personal Finances, the 7th edition. But this session is not going to be about this specific title. It's really going to be an Mindtap overview, just so that you can see the ins and outs of Mindtap pertaining to anybody's book. So first thing that you'll notice over here on the left-hand side, this is what we refer to as our outline view. And this is the outline of the book, any book that you're using. For this book, you can see that there are 6 units. This is how many activities within each of these units. If I click on one of the units, it'll expand it. This here has, to begin with, 3 reading assignments that you can assign to your students. It also has 6 chapters. And what you'll note is that within each unit, you're going to see the same thing. And so the beautiful thing about Mindtap is it's consistent within each of the chapters, so you and your students get used to what that looks like and what your daily and weekly plan is going to be. So here at chapter 1, I can go ahead and expand that as well. I see there's another introduction to the chapter. There's chapter 1 activities, chapter 1 review, as well as the test. And so I'm going to expand these so that you can see what it is that you have at your fingertips. And then you have your chapter review. Anything over here, you can see the book. That's a reading assignment, paper pencil. That's not done on paper pencil, but it is a practice. And then you have this image here. That can be either an image or a video. It just depends. If you see something in orange, it says counts toward grade. That's an automatic graded assignment with automatic feedback and specific feedback to your students as they go through that. On the right-hand side, what I love, you can see within your class what percentage of your class has submitted the assignment, what that average score is for your class, as well as how many points these were worth. You can change these points for any of these if you'd like. It's truly something. You can also change this from practice to grade it now. That's up to you. Another thing that you're going to see over here on the right-hand side, this is your grade book or your progress report. You're going to have a class average, and if you had students in here, you would see a spotted where they would show up in analytics to show you exactly where each of your students fall. And then this over here we'll go over in just a minute as well. These are your mind apps. And so one of the things that you can do here, if once you have assigned things, you can also click on this week view, and it'll show you this is your current week, and here's all of the activities that are due on this week. So that's nice. If your students go in, they can just simply click on that and see exactly what activities they have due and click on them instead of having to scroll through this, the learning path, the outline view. Once you click on this edit button here, you can see that it changes your learning path, and you'll see this little edit button as well as hide. And so if for whatever reason, let's say I'm teaching the course and I know I'm not going to get to Unit 6. We're not going to even do Unit 6. I can click to the left of that. You can see I've highlighted 41 items. I'm going to click on that batch action, and I can hide that entire section. And so once I click on the unedit, once I click on show hidden, I can see this little I that's been crossed out, which means I've hidden all of those things. And so this is now what your students are going to see. They won't see they don't have a show hidden button, and so they won't even see that chapter or that unit available to them. Another thing you can do with the batch actions, I can say, I want to come up here and I want to assign each of these. So I'm going to click on batch action. I'm going to edit dates. I'm going to say I want this to be available to them now. I can also give it a time. So I'm going to say 10 a.m. Done. I'm going to make it due the 24th at 3 p.m. Done. And go ahead and hit save. Okay. So I can see now this is due May 24th at this time. And so your students now will see this in their rolling view. So they have 3 activities due on week 10. Okay. You can also go in and just say, I just want to assign this. I can give chapter introduction. Please read this and use your highlighting tool to save things that are important to you while reading. Okay, I can add that note to them. Again, make it available today, whatever time. And I'm going to make this actually due on the 13th. Done. I can decide where I want it to show up. I want to change where it's being seen by the students. So if you want to move the order of which you teach things, then you can absolutely do that. I'm going to hit save. And now I can see that this is what the students are going to, I've left that note for them and they have that available to them. Okay. So that's how you assign things. You can also just hide specific things. I might say there's a vocabulary lesson and a review lesson. I might say I don't want them to, not that I would, but I might say I don't want them to do this reading activity. And so I can simply just hide that one. So now it's no longer there. If I show hidden, I can see that it is still there. It's just I've hidden it. And if I want to re-show it, make it unhidden, I just click on the show and then it'll be available to them again. I'm going to click off of the edit button and show you a few things within here. When you go into a reading assignment, one of the things that I want you to see within this reading activity, and one thing I want you to note that anything that you open within Mindtap, it just lays over what was already there. And so to get out of that, you simply click this X. You're never going to hit the back button. It'll mess it up. So if I hit the X, you can see we go right back to where we were. So I'm going to open it back up again. And a couple of things that you can do in here. First of all, students, they can change the size of the font. They can print specific chapter, like 1A, whatever you see here, it's going to print it. They can also click on the help button if they have any questions, and they have this read speaker that can read it to them, and it highlights it as it's being read to them. And while I'm talking about that this read speak button over here, they can change different things about the read speaker. So they can change the speed of the reading as well as the voice. They can even have a British or Australian voice if they'd like. A little some extra special in their steps. Here, students, while they're reading, as well as you as the teacher, you can highlight anything that you're reading. Students have these 4 colors, and so if they highlight something that's important to them, you as the teacher, if you find something that you want to make sure students don't miss, you can click on the orange shared highlight, and now when students open up their ebook, they're going to see this orange highlight and know that you've highlighted it for them and that it's extremely important for them to remember. Okay, they can also add notes as well as you. Save their notes, whatever they want to put there, and anything that they've highlighted or added notes to or even bookmarked. This little beauty of an app over here, this is the Study Hub, and so if they click on this, it's going to show them everything that they've highlighted and any notes that they've left, as well as any bookmarks. And just simply clicking on that, it's going to take them right back to the ebook where they found that. And so this is going to be an important piece that you show students so that they are utilizing that. As I'll go back to that in just a minute because there's something else in there that's wonderful. But this right here, this little edit mode, only you as the teacher has that. If you click on that, you can see that it adds some of these plus buttons here. If you want to add something directly into the ebook for students to see, you can click on that. These are all of the things that as a teacher you can add for them. Anything from your Google Drive. A lot of people use the YouTube videos right here, as well as web links or something from their OneDrive. I'm going to go ahead and add a YouTube video here. And I'm going to type in internet incredible web. And so I can, first of all, I'm going to watch any of these, and you can simply do that by clicking on it. You can see that when I do that, it says, it kind of, when you hover over it, it says preview. So we're definitely going to want to do that, since even if your school blocks YouTube, if it's within the book, students can see it because it's within Mindtap and it's not actually going to the YouTube website. So it's going to be important that you watch it first. You can also go to YouTube yourself, find one that you want, highlight that URL and put it right here and it'll find it for you. I'm just gonna, for the purpose of this, I haven't viewed it, but I'm gonna click this one and say, yes, this is the one that I want. I'm going to say, watch this powerful video before reading. And then afterwards, I can say, we will discuss this in class. And hit continue. And what you'll see is it's going to embed that right into the book. And so students just click on it and view that. And what you've written to them before and after is going to show up. Okay? So that's really the ebook, some powerful things there. I'm going to get out of that. That's this side. You can also add things if you'd like within the learning path just by clicking on this add create, and you can add activity. Anything that you can add into the ebook is something you can also add into the learning path. Okay. Over here, as I mentioned, this is your this is going to be your grade book, or if you'd like, you can also click the progress report and it's the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and show you a few key things in here. I don't have any students in this course, but I'm going to go ahead and click on the sample reports here so you can see what you would get if you had students in there. All right, so within your Progress app, again, you just click on this. First of all, you have an overview, and this is your learning path, but it's broken into the actual grade book. You can click on it and view it. You can see the score, the percentage of what your students think, what your class average is, how many were submitted. Okay, if you click on the analytics piece of it, again, you have a little scatter plot. You can see here's the class average score for this engagement level. This is how many hours time in course, the number of logins and activities that have been accessed by your students. Okay, so here's your engagement level. You also have how many students are in high engagement, moderate engagement, or low. And if you click on this here, you can actually see which students received and what their scores were. I can click on that individual student progress to see exactly who that was and what they've been doing in there. Okay. I can also see the student progress dot, and if I click on that, I'm also going to see who that student was. Okay. Within the gradebook itself, you can choose to change it from points or percentages, however you choose to view it. You can filter it easily, as well as change grades. And you can export it. It'll export it into a CVS or Excel spreadsheet. And then, or if you have an LMS, it'll export it right into there, as well as import into this gradebook. Okay. And then finally, categorization. You can create, first of all, everything's going to be under the uncategorized, but you can create your own categories and drop things in there so that you can say, I want all my chapter tests together, I want all my practice together, all my vocabulary, so that you can definitely see how students are doing within each of those, and you can organize it by weight. You can also click here to drop the lowest score if you prefer to. So there's a lot of beautiful things within this gradebook. And the last thing, it didn't really show on that page, you can click on roster and it's going to give you a list of all your students, what their usernames are, and you can drop students from your class right there if you'd like. So that is our, that's the gradebook. As I mentioned over here, this is your Mind apps. You're going to use some of these and some of them you aren't. I'm just going to go over a few of them. The My Notes. This is actually opening up an Evernote account, and so students would have to sign in or create an Evernote account. It's third party, so that might be something that you ask your students not to get into. You can also move these around if you'd like, and so maybe moving them to a different section at the bottom if you'd like. All of our Mindtaps come with the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which is when you're highlighting those words that we can see those dictionaries. They'll also have a glossary. This here is the full book, so students can choose to open that and just look at the full book instead of just going through the pieces that open based on the activities that they've been assigned. Here's that study hub that I talked about earlier and we opened. Another thing within here that I think is very valuable, students can create a study guide. So if you click on this, you can call it Chapter 1 Study Guide. I can select a unit. So I'm going to do Unit 1, Chapter 1. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I can select all. I want my key terms in there. I want my shared notes, my shared highlights. And then I can even add a unit to the guide, which I've already said. I've added Chapter 1, and I'm going to create that. And so now students can go in there and they can view everything that was within that chapter and that study guide. Here's the read speaker. Many of our Mindtaps have See Now homework, which is already embedded into the learning path. But you can modify these if you'd like to. These are our video homeworks. And you can see if it says linked, and wherever it says yes, that means they're already in the learning path. So you don't need to add these ones there. Some of the books don't add all of them, so if it says no, then you can choose to add it into the learning path if you'd like to. You can view them right here and see them all together. You can also duplicate them, save them as something different. It's up to you, and it tells you the number that they are. Here's your flashcards that we've already gone over. And many of you will have different mind maps over here, but that is the general overview of basically any Mindtap that you may have. One more thing I want to show you, if you don't want to view your grade book over here on the right hand side, if you click over here with the little person and your name, you can go to course settings and you can click on dashboard. And you can say, I don't want to enable the performance dashboard. I really just want to look at the rolling view, and hit save. And so now you're able to see just this entire, the entire outline of your course. And if you want to see your grade book, again, you can just click on the Progress app and it'll open it up for you. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this session. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your sales rep or your digital engagement consultant. And have a great day. Thank you so much.